Welcome back to Game of Fangs of Thorns. My name's Hannah, and this is a weekly reading vlog. So it is now 6:10. On Monday the 10th of January. My hair looks like this because I've been swimming, getting back into swimming, and I did use my watch, my little Galaxy smartwatch thingy, to tell me how I was doing, and I swam for 21 lengths, which was a distance of about 525 metres in a 25-metre pool. So that's not too bad for the first time I've been swimming in like ages. So book-wise, I am still using my lovely book sleeve. It fits my hardcovers perfectly, except for Empire the Vampire, but we don't talk about that one. I'm on page 38, which is just after chapter 3, but there is a little anecdote over page 38 and 39, and at the moment I'm withholding judgment on it because it is being slow. It's still setting everything up. I have the dust jacket here. So this is Kingdom of Souls, The Last Witch Doctor by Reina. This was an Illumicrate book from 2019, I want to say. But basically it follows Ara, who was born to a family of powerful witch doctors, yearns for magic of her own but fails at own magic, seeing the future, fails to call upon the ancestors. And with each passing year, her ambitious mother just looks on her with disapproval. But blood magic, well, it's not really blood magic as such. I think it's more life magic, because you can trade years from your own life for a taste of power. It's a cheap trick with a heavy cost, something Ara's never stooped to until the city's children start to disappear. So when Ara does trade her years for magic to catch the child snatcher, she uncovers a secret so shocking and terrible that her world is changed forever, and there's a demon king who's waking up. So we haven't got to that part yet. We're still in the middle of Ara trying to please her grandmother, who was a chieftain, who is the chieftain of one of the clans. I'm still a little bit fuzzy on all of the details, but I'm quite enjoying it. In work news, I'm still waiting to hear back on various applications because I don't like my current job. But I've done the hard bit. I've decided that it's not for me, which was obviously the hard thing, and now I'm just waiting to hear back from various applications, like I mentioned. Don't know what else to really update you on, because last night the Sunday Scaries hit and I just sort of started watching The Worst Witch on Netflix again, the Bella Ramsey one, so the newer one, and I think that's hilarious. I think it's so funny. But I have Jodie on in the background, and then I'll just sort of try and relax, try and chill, because I'm on 7-3 this week. But it does mean I got to go swimming this afternoon, so it's not all bad, really, is it? But yeah, that's it for now. Hi guys, it's Tuesday, and I have some bad-ish news. I'm going to DNF Kingdom of Souls by Reina. I got to page 102, 101, 102, because you know my rule: if I'm not feeling the book straight away, I'm just fighting with the book sleeve trying to get it off one-handed. But if I'm not feeling the book straight away, I'll give it to the 100-page mark to try and see if I can gel with it, because it might just be a slow start. But that one I just couldn't get into at all. And it could be that it's a me thing. We all know I know my mental health hasn't been great, so maybe this book isn't what I fancy right now, but unfortunately life is too short to waste it on books that I'm not enjoying. So this is my first DNF of the year, and to be honest, I feel okay about that. This is the year where I'm going to try and mood read a lot more. I think May, because May is my birthday month, it'll be a mood read TBR rather than a game of TBR, or I might ask someone to pick the books for me, just to make things a little bit interesting, but we can think of that later. So yeah, unfortunately this is a DNF. I don't know what it is exactly that I don't like about it. I think it's because I think Ara might be coming off as a little bit self-entitled, a little bit, dare I say, a little bit spoilt, because she is the daughter of two great magical bloodlines, and she hasn't come into her magic, and that's all she can talk about, and it gets repetitive after 100 years, well, 100 pages of Ara just going, well, why hasn't my magic came? Why hasn't my magic came? And the whole thing about the kids going missing that is mentioned on the synopsis only comes into play about 90 odd pages in, and this is only a 400 and something page book. Is it a 424 page book, and life is just too short to read books you don't enjoy, so that will be going on the unhaul pile box thing, so keep your eyes peeled for another unhaul. If you are interested in any of the books in the unhaul when I do eventually film it, leave me a comment or reach out to me on Instagram. The channel name is A Game of Fangs and Thrones, it's the same as the YouTube, and I'll see if I can get any of the books that I mentioned in the unhaul out to you. But bear in mind that I may just put them to the charity shop as soon as I get a chance. But it is what it is, and I think I'll probably go for the reread of Eon by Alison Goodman, which was the reread an old favourite pick for Game of TBR, and that is Dragons. But in all honesty, it follows Eon, who is training to be the next Dragoneye apprentice, because in this world the dragons are kind of on a different plane to the rest of us, and they can bond with their, not masters, but partners in an unequal bond, and they are based on the 12 dragons of the zodiac. So you have your rat dragon, your dog dragon, your tiger dragon, things like that, and then you have an extra dragon who hasn't been seen for years, the mirror dragon, or the dragon. But without telling you too much, we follow Eon, who is training to be the next apprentice, as it is the way the cycle is, it's the rat dragon's turn, but Eon is hiding a secret, and I mean, you figure it out pretty early on, but this has the Mulan trope, which I don't know if that's the proper term, but that's what I call it, where a girl dresses up as a boy in order to survive, get something that is off limits to their gender, that kind of thing. But what follows is a journey of self-discovery for Eon, as well as learning how to bond with the dragon, learning these particular skills that come with each dragon, while dealing with grief. There's also some other LGBTQIA+. I got it right. I always get that wrong. But there's also that rep in here, as we have a trans character who was born male but identifies as female, and how that is approached in this world. And then we also have eunuchs. So, and there is a very interesting discussion towards the later half of the book about sun versus moon energy, so male versus female energy, and what happens when you try to suppress that or enhance something else, enhance one over the other or suppress one over the other. There's a very sweet romance that develops, and I just love it. I do recommend that one to anyone who likes dragons. It is a Eastern inspired world, and I don't think it's own voices. I think Alison Goodman might be American, so just be wary of that going in. And when I first read it, I didn't notice anything that could be stereotypical or whatever, but I think I was only 11 when I read it for the first time, and I wasn't as aware of what I am now. But let's see if it holds up, because dragons, these are big dragons. And in case anybody was wondering, I have the dragon bookmark ready for the dragon book. I think this was either Fairyloot or Illumicrate, but it is the Priory of the Orange Tree bookmark, and it is a dragon. So it's enough about me going on about dragons, and I'm going to go read now. Hey guys, it's Wednesday. I've just come back, well, not just come back, but I did a swim. I had my first half mile. It did take me like the best part of 45 minutes, but the timing isn't the issue that I'm working on, it's the distance. And I did pick up Eon last night, and I'm flying through it, but it is a reread. It is still a favourite. There is a scene in this that when I was younger gave me the ick, but now it's okay. Now I can see there's nothing in it. I think I gave you a brief synopsis of what this was about when I started it, and to be honest, I've got nothing much more to update on this, other than definitely glad I stopped Kingdom of Souls, just because it just wasn't for me. Life's too short to read books you don't like. I think that's it. I'm just going to chill. Yeah, I'm just going to chill and read. Please ignore this. I'm keeping the curls intact that I put my hair up in yesterday. So ignore these. Well, coming back to you with an update. I finished Eon by Alison Goodman. Technically Eon Rise of the Dragon Eye by Alison Goodman. And to no one's surprise, this reread got 5 stars. This book, in my opinion, absolutely holds up from when I first read it as a teenager. Oh, so long ago. But I do really enjoy it. It got, like I say, it got 5 stars, and I'm glad I reread it. I gave you a brief synopsis about that. What I will mention is there is a trigger for attempted rape, attempted sexual assault, and probably mind manipulation as well. So just this is quite mild, I would say. It was published in 2008. So just be wary that it isn't as explicit as some scenes and as some books, but that potentially makes it stand out more because it is a little bit graphic. In terms of, you see this all through Eon's perspective. It is told in first person, and that character is very aware of the attraction between men and women, what can and can't happen, and they end up on the wrong side of that. So just be wary of that, if that is something that you're sensitive to. But I personally, I've said this before, not a lot really gets to me in books, but that does make me question things. Mainly the council. If you've read it, you'll know what I mean about why certain things were allowed to happen. But it's still got 5 stars. It's a reread that I will keep rereading when prompts allow. Well, I probably won't reread it again. If with the next prompt I'll probably read Eon Rise, which is the sequel. But we've turned it around. This week started with this week it's only Thursday, but this week, this vlog this week started on a bum note, obviously with the unfortunate DNF of Kingdom of Souls, but then we've turned it around with a 5-star reread. So those 2 prompts, if you are interested, I have my very plain boring bullet journal. Although I think it's more like a planner than a bullet journal, to be honest. But the prompts, in case you were interested, so the Kingdom of Souls by Reina fulfilled the prompt of Return of the YA Snake, basically. That's just a snake on the cover or in the title. I don't have it with me, but Kingdom of Souls, my edition, has a spray paint, has a stenciled snake on the pages, so it counts. I don't know if there's a snake on the cover or not, I can't remember. And then Eon Rise of the Dragon Eye fulfills the prompt for reread an old favourite. So, what to read next? I have so many prompts on here and nothing is really jumping out, so I'll go have a look on the cart and tell you what I pick. Please ignore this. I'm keeping the curls intact that I put my hair up in yesterday, so ignore these. Well, coming back to you with an update. I finished Eon by Alison Goodman, technically Eon Rise of the Dragon Eye by Alison Goodman, and to no one's surprise, this reread got 5 stars. This book, in my opinion, absolutely holds up from when I first read it as a teenager, oh so long ago, but I do really enjoy it. Got, like I say, got 5 stars, and I'm glad I reread it. I gave you a brief synopsis about that. What I will mention is there is a trigger for attempted rape, attempted sexual assault, and probably mind manipulation as well. So just this is quite mild, I would say. It was published in 2008. So just be wary that it isn't as explicit as some scenes and as some books, but that potentially makes it stand out more because it is a little bit graphic. In terms of, you see this all through Eon's perspective. It is told in first person, and that character is very aware of the attraction between men and women, what can and can't happen, and they end up on the wrong side of that. So just be wary of that, if that is something that you're sensitive to. But I personally, I've said this before, not a lot really gets to me in books, but that does make me question things. Mainly the council. If you've read it, you'll know what I mean about why certain things were allowed to happen. But it's still got 5 stars. It's a reread that I will keep rereading when prompts allow. well, I probably won't reread it again. If with the next prompt I'll probably read Iona, which is the sequel. But we've turned it around. This week started with this week it's only Thursday, but this vlog this week started on a bum note, obviously with the unfortunate DNF of Kingdom of Souls, but then we've turned it around with a 5-star reread. So those 2 prompts, if you are interested. I have my very plain boring bullet journal, although I think it's more like a planner than a bullet journal, to be honest. But the prompts, in case you were interested, so the Kingdom of Souls by Reina fulfilled the prompt of Return of the YA Snake, basically. That's just a snake on the cover or in the title. I don't have it with me, but Kingdom of Souls, my edition, has a spray paint, has a stenciled snake on the pages, so it counts. I don't know if there's a snake on the cover or not, I can't remember. And then Eon Rise of the Dragon Eye fulfills the prompt for reread an old favourite. So, what to read next? I have so many prompts on here and nothing is really jumping out, so I'll go have a look on the cart and tell you what I pick. Back. So, the book I picked is Philip Reeves' The Mortal Engines. This is the first book in the Mortal Engines quartet, and it fulfills the prompt for blindfolded pick. I know there's no footage of me actually being blindfolded picking that book, but I couldn't get the camera at an angle that would show you all of my shelves. I think you've seen them in clips, but anyway. This doesn't really say much on the back, so I'll just read the back out. In a dangerous future, huge motorised cities hunt, attack and fight each other for survival. As London pursues a small town, young apprentice Tom is flung out into the wastelands, where a terrifying cyborg begins to hunt him down. I have seen the movie. I quite enjoyed the movie, but I'm wondering what was changed from the book to the movie, because this is a fairly short book, and I have heard good things about it. It's told in 2 parts, and the last chapter is chapter 37, and that starts on page 318. So and the acknowledgements are only a 1-page thing, so it's 320 pages. So we'll see what I think about this one, and I'll come back to you. Hi guys, quick little update tonight because it's Friday, and Sean is going to be picking me up in about 45 minutes. But it is Friday. As you can probably tell, my hair is wet. That's because I went swimming. I want to swim a mile by the end of 2022, and I'm halfway there. Monday I just sort of said half an hour, see what I do. Wednesday I said I wasn't going to stop until I did a half mile. I did that in just over 46 minutes. And then tonight, when I get my tracking open, too many apps on my phone. So, night I did just under 45 minutes, and I did 37 lengths. Yes, I don't know. No, I don't know why it ended on an odd number, but there you go. 37 lengths, and a mile in my pool is 64. So I'm nearly there. I started reading Mortal Engines last night, like I said I would. I got to chapter 3. It is a little bit slow. There's something unusual about the writing style, but I can't quite put my finger on it. But basically we've been introduced to Tom Valentine, who is the chief engineer. I think Valentine was who Hugo Weaving played in the movie. So we're introduced to him, we're introduced to his daughter, who Tom, our historian apprentice, has a bit of a crush on. Basically, in this world it is post-apocalyptic and the town of London has been motorised, and to survive, London kind of cannibalises the rest of the towns, to be honest. We see that quite graphically in the first chapter. Tom witnesses one of the other smaller countryside towns, I would say, being dismantled and caught for London's survival, basically. Now, Tom is an apprentice to the Historians Guild, and it is their job to basically collect artifacts and keep the history alive. What's interesting in this one is that there is a public goggle screen, so obviously that must be Google, and there are statues of Mickey and Pluto, so I'm guessing Mickey Mouse and Pluto the dog, which have been categorised as animal-headed gods. But basically we've been introduced to that sort of thing, and just as I left it, one of the survivors from the countryside town has just decided to kill Valentine, and that's all I know. But I will keep you updated with that. What else? Oh yeah, I saw on Instagram last night that Becca, from Becca in the Books, or Becca Bum on Instagram, is doing like a little crochet genre blanket, which I have taken over. I have done that as well, so you'll have seen the start of that if you follow me on Instagram. A Game of Fangs and Thorns, no spaces, just the same as the channel name, just to keep things simple. But I got quite far on that. I've read 5 books so far in January. I'm on to row 3 of 5. I'm fully expecting this blanket to just be purple, because I've decided on purple for fantasy, and we all know I am a big fantasy reader. So this is going to be a very purple blanket. But it'll be fun to see what other genres I put in there. But that's it for this update, I think, and I'm going to just chill. I'll let this dry naturally because I can't be bothered. It's Saturday, I'm at home, everything's fine, just staying at home this week. But I have been making progress, and now I have just lost my space in Mortal Engines by Philippa Reeve. I'll find it in a minute, but I am quite enjoying it. It just took a while. I think I found my spot, hang on. Nope, past that bit. But yeah, it did work. It has a little bit of a slow start, but then it gets itself going. So I am enjoying it. I'm making lots of progress on my genre blanket, which I think I've told you about. Purple is fantasy, orange, this cream colour is thriller. And then I added 3 books to my collection. They are Malice by Heather Walter, a dark Sleeping Beauty retelling focusing on Maleficent. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I know nothing about this other than sci-fi. And then Lynette Noni's The Gilded Cage, the sequel to The Prison Healer. and my battery is going to start flashing, so I'm going to pop it on charge and update tomorrow. It's Sunday. I finished... what was I reading? I forgot what I was reading. Oh yeah, Mortal Engines. It's been a long day already and it's only lunchtime. Well, 10 to 12. But I woke up, I finished Mortal Engines. I ended up giving it about 4 stars. I did really enjoy it once it got going. It just took a while to get going, and there was something a little bit not quite gelling with me with the writing style at first, but once it got going and once I got used to it, I did really enjoy it. I've caught up with my genre blanket. I now have 5 rows on my little piece of crochet, and to meet the I've read 6 books now. For fantasy. Hang on. 1, 2, 3. 4 fantasy, 1 thriller, 1 sci-fi, dystopian type thing. Yeah, and 6. I just need to update my little DVR cart whiteboard there. I've also just been filming my entire unread DVR pile, and I'm just sending the camera flying because that's what we do, and it's all chaos. That will have to do. So yeah, I've filmed that. I just need to edit that. I will probably pick up another fantasy. The Last Graduate is staring at me just because it's there, but we'll pick up that one. So that's The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik, book 2 of the Scholomance, which started with Deadly Education. This meets the prompt I'm hoping for. The book you've heard is a bit odd. Now, the reason I'm picking this one up for book you've heard is odd because of the writing style. I've heard that. Well, I have read A Deadly Education, which is behind me, and that is a very conversationalist tone, which is fine if you listen to it, like if you read audiobooks. But I can't get away with audiobooks. I like to have a physical book in my hand, which is probably why my Kindle card does dust all the time, but that's a topic for another day. So I have this. If you want to weigh it, this is a sequel, so I can't really talk about it. But in the first book, A Deadly Education, we follow Elle, who is snarky and a bit of a loner, which in normal high school would be fine, but in this particular high school, it's not a good idea to be on your own, because this is a magic school with a difference. The kids are pretty much locked in the school when they enter, and then as they go through the year groups, it is Americanized, I believe, so it's freshman, junior, sophomore, senior. I think I'm English, we didn't have that. And what's interesting about this school is that the further you go in the school, the further down you go in the actual building, because it rotates down. So when you're a freshman, you start at the top of the school, and then when you graduate, you are at the bottom of the school. But the bottom of the school is where all of these Maleficara, these magic beings, monsters, are gathering. So your graduation test is to basically come out alive. And the way that a lot of kids do this is that they form alliances, or if they are part of a magical family, they are usually part of something called an enclave, and they all sort of band together for mutual survival. Elle doesn't have that. Her mother was a bit of a hippie, raised her on her own. She doesn't have one of these standard enclaves, or conclave. I can't remember the exact terminology, but Elle is pretty much on her own and has to make friends, or at least secure alliances to survive. But she's very, very prickly, and I love her. She's snarky, and she's actually called Galadriel because her mother likes Lord of the Rings. So this is the sequel. Now, the first book, to me, and I think I have this problem with Naomi's plotting as such, is that it felt more like a setup than an actual book, which is fine, but when it's fine to read it as a sequel, like knowing as a series book, knowing that there's going to be more in the series. But if you read it as a standalone, nothing really tends to happen. So you have to go into this with the mindset of, this isn't the only book, this is a start. I mentioned this because in Spinning Silver, I thought that was really slow. I did enjoy it, and it's probably me more than the book, but she's a bit of a love-hate writer. I love her ideas, so hopefully this will make her one of my... I will like this, basically, hopefully. And then I can read Tamara, which is dragons, so come on. And then I do have Uprooted as well, and there's a character in that called Dragon. I think this vlog is basically me just getting distracted by the amount of dragon memorabilia I have. But anyway, I'm going to pop these books. Ow! The hardback just got me. I'm going to find a new spot for these books, because my previous spot for my 2022 priority list wasn't working. I'm going to just chill, and I'll probably come back to you later with some thoughts on The Last Graduate and to close out the vlog. So bye for now. So as promised, I'm just popping in to end this vlog, and I got about halfway in The Last Graduate, I would say. I'm on chapter 7, which is page 179, and this is like 388 pages. So I'm getting there. I am really enjoying it. There's a romance heating up, and it is an enemies to lovers romance as well. The writing style is still niggly. It's still that conversationalist tone where Elle goes off on tangents, which would probably be alright if you were listening to it, but reading it, it does drag you out a little bit. So this is looking like a 3.5 to a 4. I am enjoying it, it is good, but there's still those niggly bits, I think. So I'm just going to end this vlog here. Give it a like if you like it, and hit that subscribe button if you want to see this. Talk about these. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!